Hello, I'm Franz.
Hey, everybody.
That's
Hey,
Andy.
it's Andy.
It is August 2024. This is the Town Hall for Concrete checking in. How you doing? Hope you're having a nice summer. I know we are. I think we skipped last month as we were all kind of in various states of break. And here we are firing things up again. So jump right into the news. I'll tell you before, if you've got questions you'd like us to answer, go ahead, put them in chat. We'll get to them by the end of the show. In the meantime, let's see, what have we done? We did a big push to the marketplace and community site recently. I mean, a bunch of just kind of cosmetic little updates to how the marketplace works, how your My Account area works, searching, licensing, a bunch of stuff, and also
Lots of little things.
Yeah, and released a new version of the core with that. You want to speak to any of that stuff, Andy?
Yeah. The marketplace, just kind of maybe a little 1.1 or 2.1 or whatever version number you want to ascribe to the new version of the marketplace. Just a kind of a little tweak to it, just to do some nice things, like add some new search, add some showing the rating, more spots, just lots of little cleanup here and there. Some hopefully make it a little easier to distinguish different license types that you might purchase for different kinds of concrete sites. Still a big backlog of stuff to continue to push on over the next few months and longer, but definitely in a spot where we don't feel like we need to be putting out fires with it. We can put it more into a sustainment mode. But yeah, it's definitely looking good, and we're pretty proud of. Still feels like a beautiful dream having sunset at the old marketplace. So yeah, that's great. And then we just on Tuesday, last Tuesday, released 9.3.3 and 8.5.18. And 8.5.18 has just a couple very minor security tweaks in it, and a couple little other things. 9.3.3 has those same things if they're applicable to version 9, but also quite a bit more stuff. Most of it community driven. We've done some bug fixes and security updates as part of 9.3.3, but most of the improvements you'll see have come from the community. So that's always really nice to see. And also, if you've encountered some slowness installing concrete from time to time in the past, it's certainly not, it's not as fast as certain other systems. It's just such a bigger system than WordPress, for example. But you should see some improved installation speed as well as part of 9.3.3. So if that ever stuck in your craw, definitely give this new release a try. And let us know what you think.
Nice. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. Performance improvement on install. Our demos are now much snappier, so I know everybody here is thankful. Oh, hey, here's a question coming in from bikerdave. I have a few questions. Do you anticipate any further minor future versions of version 9, or are you planning on just doing security fixes from now on? And then
that's a good question.
Can you tell us about 10? Yeah,
it's a great question. So we're in the 9.3 branch right now, and so we'll call that, just so everyone's on the same page, we can call that a minor release, 9.3, and then the 9.3.3, 9.3.4, etc. Those are the patch releases. So yeah, we are committed to doing small updates every month as we have new things to put in there. So you can expect to see the 9.3. whatever releases continue. We also know we want to do a version 10 release. Historically, those happen in the fall. We're almost in the fall, so I don't know if that's going to be happening on quite the same timeline this year. But that is something we want to do. And really just the question of what happens in the interim. Do we have a 9.4? Do we have a 9.5? With these updates that we're trying to do on a more specific schedule, and our new release process that makes it easier to do those updates, I would expect us to actually do another minor release. So 9.4. Probably not a 9.5 as well, but I could definitely see a 9.4, especially as we clear the deck for version 10 and what it will necessarily mean. It's pretty likely that we will have to do a release that in some way prepares the way for a version 10 upgrade, whatever that means. And historically, that's not something we can usually do in a patch release because it usually requires updating libraries, things like that. Maybe not in a backward compatibility challenging way, but just kind of getting things prepared to do a more major upgrade in the future. So I would expect in 9.4, there's no timeline on that or really any specific features that I would expect to be in that, but it would not, don't be surprised if you see a 9.4 coming in time for a version 10. And then, yeah, with version 10, we've got some pretty big things we want to include in it. We have no real timeline for it yet, but expect that to crystallize pretty soon and get a release announcement, if nothing else.
Yeah, I would second all that. It's not something we're actively working on today. We would continue to do, any improvement that we would want to put into concrete would be in the 9 branch today.
Yes.
I don't think we have any problem with doing point releases or minor releases. To us, it's just a matter of, well, how big is the impact on what we're doing here? Is it a completely nominal security fix? It's a point release. Is it, hey, there's some new functionality, there's something has changed under here, then it's probably a minor release. The major versions are always should be an upgrade path, but when we do a major version, we're saying, look, this may not just be hit a button and enjoy. So we try to kind of keep those rare and worth it, I guess. And also set up a structure where you can kind of keep depending on the old version while you play with the new version. So we're still doing security supports on version 8. We haven't put a specific sunset on when we'll stop doing security fixes for version 8. We've certainly talked about it more than once. But we know there's plenty of concrete sites out there that are on version 8, are big, and are not looking to spend their time and money upgrading to version 9. So as long as it's as long as it's something that we can manage doing, and folks want it to happen, then we're getting nice submissions from the community to help. Like, perfectly happy to do a point release on a version 8 branch to keep security good. And I think that's probably the philosophy we'll take with version 9 when version 10 comes out. What else can I tell you? I know one of the big things in version 10 is addressing CK editor and what we're using to actually manage text on the page. Number of different thoughts internally about how to deal with that. None of them sound easy. So, possibility of a dynamic new editing experience, which I think, would be cool. I don't think we want to needlessly change stuff from a cosmetic standpoint. It's not, there's a diverse ecosystem of extensions in the marketplace. So nobody wants to say, hey, you got to go update a bunch of stuff to look some new way because time. Although, at some point you do. So there's lots of balance there. So, I guess just to reiterate what Andy has said, good with version 9. Version 8 is not going anywhere tomorrow. Trying to get an understanding of the timeline so we can give lifetime estimates when we build on 9. I mean, a lifetime estimate is pretty tough in technology, but I would say version 9 is here to stay and will be for the foreseeable future as far as I'm concerned. So, years, not months. But please stop building on version 8.
Yeah, I mean, version 8, I believe, looking off the top of my head, I think it was released in 2016. Version 8 was something along those lines. Like, so we're well into year 8, and I suspect into year 9 by the time we fully stop, before we fully stop supporting version 8 and version 9, I suspect will be a very similar timeline and experience.
So hopefully that helps. Let us proceed into giving thanks. It's an open source project, so thousands of people depend on concrete to build many websites and keep them running, some of which are on versions of our software from 8 years ago. But we would like to take a moment to thank everybody that contributes to that. People contribute by submitting code in GitHub to help fix and improve things, just identifying issues in GitHub of things that should be improved, and helping with documentation, and in the forums, helping people kind of find answers that they're looking for. And we like to give a couple of shout outs every month to people who have kind of done a little bit extra or more. And that is where I toss it to you, Mr. Embler, to handle the pronunciation of many handles.
Sure. Yes, thank you to everyone who submitted code during this past monthly release cycle. That includes mlocati, pszostok, and bikerdave. And also thank you to everyone who submitted new GitHub issues detailing enhancements, features, bugs that they found in the core. This includes jbender0, mmartinpdx, hissy, yalbarzawi, haeflimi, tacktack, and danklassen. And thank you to everyone who submitted useful documentation and forum posts helping people. That includes Luane. So thank you, everyone, for submitting to this open source project.
Nice. And thanks, bikerdave, for showing up for the town hall, too. Good to see you. Okay. Now is the time where we check in with the peer review board and see what they have been doing in the marketplace. Let's see. Jess, let's fire it up.
Hello everyone, I'm John the Fish and this is the Marketplace News. A reminder for anyone who currently has an add-on or theme submission under review, please log in and check the timeline for comments. Our first add-on this month is one of two add-ons by Fumito Mizuno. This is Old Windows Notify. This does exactly what it says on the tin. Anyone who browses the site using an old version of Windows gets a notification. Old Windows Notify is $20 in the marketplace. Our second add-on by Fumito Mizuno is Lock If Out of Office Hours. This is a security tool. In the dashboard, you configure hours during which your office is open. Outside of these hours, no one will be able to log in to the dashboard of your site. Lock If Out of Office Hours is $80 in the marketplace. From ZanWeb, we have CK Editor Glossary. In a dashboard page, you define some terms for a glossary. And then on the front end of your site, you can add these terms to a page and you'll get a pop-up for the defined terms. CK Editor Glossary is $15 in the marketplace. 3D Model Viewer by Alec Biela is a block that you can add to a page and display 3D models. And I just can't get over just wobbling this avocado around. 3D Model Viewer is free in the marketplace. That's all from me, so I'll pass you over to Noor for some more news.
Thank you, John, and hello, Concrete CMS community and fans. Our next package is Text Attribute with Regex Validation by Fumito Mizuno. It's a simple text attribute with a validation that allows you to decide what type of content you are going to allow. For instance, if you want specific phone number or zip code format or anything like that, or you want to make sure an email entered is a correct email format, you can do it with this. Error messages and help messages are under your control. And it's very easy and simple to use as long as you know how to use regex. And it's $20 in the marketplace. And that's it for this month. Thank you very much and stay safe. See you next time.
Thanks so much. That's easy to use as long as you know how to use regex, KPOK. Good luck to you. That's cool. Good stuff. And yeah, nice to see such a diversity of extensions coming in. I know there's some more stuff in the works. And I also know emails are going out from the PRB now because I saw quite a few of them go out. So you should be getting notifications if there's a comment waiting for you in the PRB.
Nice.
Nice, nice. Okay, what are we doing now? Next section, Behind the Blocks. Where Jess asked me to talk about business of building websites and strategy stuff. So something that we've gotten a lot more into in the last few years here is really data-driven decisions. Have, you know, come to believe that there's an awful lot of ideas out there. The older you get, the more you realize like some of them are good, some of them aren't, and it's hard to know which ones are which. So what we want to do is move quickly, safely, but quickly, and test which ideas stick and which ones don't. And that kind of creates an environment where all ideas are welcome and the strongest survive. So we have been using some tools that are new to us for a while now, I guess, not that new, but an analytics program called Matomo, which you should check out. Open source many years ago used to be Pickwick, now it's been rebranded as Matomo. They are it's pretty cool. It's everything that Google Analytics does and quite a bit more, but fully open source. You can host it on your stack. You can let them host it for you. And if you pay for their kind of pro suite, which is pretty affordable, you get all sorts of fancy tools, including heat maps, recorded user journeys, very nice stuff for customizable funnels, ability to do A/B testing. So we've been using that a lot. We've also been using a tool called userback.io, I think, which is really focused around voice of the customer. So if you've set up a demo of our SaaS hosting at concretecms.com, you'll see the little blue feedback tab that annoyingly kind of gets in the way of some of the submit buttons. That is userback asking you, hey, do you like this? Did you do that? And lets us kind of ask questions at specific points. And then we can actually see what somebody was doing right before they filled it out. So if somebody says, hey, this is hard to use, I can't figure out blah, we can see what they were trying to do to figure it out.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and it's pretty cool. So, we've been able to look at the recorded user sessions from Matomo and userback and see things like how the editing or how the demo experience has changed over the years. So, a lifetime ago when we first built Concrete and we're kind of selling it, I would do demos, and most content management systems had a back end and a front end. People are kind of used to the WordPress experience. You go in, there's a forum, you're making a blog, and then you go over to this other window and you're like, oh, hey, here's my blog post. Isn't that great? And the way I would demo Concrete is always just to go to the website, pop a page in edit mode, start dragging stuff around, be like, hey, isn't that amazing? And in 2008, 2009, when we first went open source, it was pretty amazing. No one else really did that very well, at least. Now, pretty much all CMSs have some type of in context, what you see is what you get editing model. Many of them kind of default to that. Certainly WordPress does now, Gutenberg and friends. And so that as a demo process, that just isn't what people are doing anymore. So I'd kind of sensed that when I was giving enterprise clients demos, we'd be like, yeah, of course. No. I used to get a wow for that, but now I didn't. Of course, that's cool. Watching the demos that people set up on their own is not what people do at all. They don't come in and put a page in edit mode and see what the editing experience is like, which, as kind of an engineering mind behind a CMS, is what I would expect someone to do. They are very much looking for how do they make it look a different way, right? They go to the gear icon, they start playing with the design tab, which doesn't really let you do, kind of what you might expect out of like a Squarespace or a Figma type building process. They're really very focused on styling and what will this look like. So we're able to see, anecdotally, people kind of struggle with that. And then we were able to, again, just using the tag manager in Matomo, we've interjected a little green button that says browse themes in the toolbar, just on our demo servers, not in the core, but like right now, next to the kind of the edit add gear icon, there's a browse themes button. And you can't miss it. It's shiny green. It just takes you to the dashboard page that connects your SaaS site to the marketplace and lets you start browsing themes. But we get a huge volume of people clicking. I think last time it was like 30+ % of people who come and click that button pretty quick. So interesting. Not my idea, right? In my world, Concrete sites are designed for a client that starts with something out of Figma. It starts with comps and an approval process, and there's going to be designers and engineers making something. But a lot of the people coming into the platform are just looking to use a pre-built theme, and they're just, how can I make this look today? So that kind of thing is really powerful for us to be able to say, well, look, just because our assumptions work this way, the people who are coming are looking for something different, and we're able to kind of test that without having to go through the kind of labor-intensive process of putting something into the core. And then the real challenge, a challenge with open source is like we can't actually see what people are doing with it. So we put something in the core, we see it go out, we hope it works. We listen to the forums as people are like, I can't run this on my Raspberry Pi, and somehow we try to make the world a better place with that. So really interesting to do some stuff a little bit more data driven that way. That's also why we spent some energy making the install process faster, as we were seeing a very high drop-off rate on our demo setup process. And we're able to kind of track, hey, how many people come in, how many people actually click on the site, and we didn't like those numbers. And so that's why the install process is probably about twice as fast at this point. So very cool. If you are not using this kind of thinking with your clients, you really should be, because it's nice. It takes a lot of the kind of the trust me, I'm an expert energy out of it. And you can say, listen, I don't we're doing this with a client right now. We're testing different labels on primary navigations because there's a lot of opinions as to what the right label for some of these concepts are. And, we don't have to guess. We can test them and find out. And that's really cool. So science and web design. Check it out. Matomo, highly recommend. UserBack works pretty well too. There's a bunch of different voice of customer tools. It's not rocket science, but it's nice to have something that just works for you. And of course, plug, if you are an enterprise customer that is looking to do this kind of thing, but you're worried about privacy information and how do I safely manage this stuff, we'd be happy to talk to you. That's part of what we do here at Portland Labs. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. We're going to do a little show and tell and look at.
Ooh.
Boom. There's a website that Jess has found for us. It's the Liechtenstein Olympic Committee website.
How topical.
Yeah, how topical. Olympics have just wrapped up. And here we have a very attractive website from a small but important country in Europe that has got a bunch of athletes competing here. Got the social wall, locking social media.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Nice little overlays in the gallery. Value and ethics. All of the balls are included, Andy. Every shape, color, and size of ball.
Nice. I like
Part
that.
of the inclusive nature. I love it. It's like, yeah, some blog posting. Pretty good looking deal. Oh, little counter guy. Built by, who built this? Sitewalk. Websites and online marketing. Nice job, Sitewalk.
Nice.
Good looking site. Look at that. Boom. Yeah. Nice work. Thanks for choosing Concrete. You should check out our partner program if you haven't already. Let's see. Anything else on our to-do list for August? I think that's all the news that I've got and questions that I have seen. Got a bunch of stuff that we're doing, but I don't think anything more to talk about. So we're going to say thank you very much. See you guys in early September. Another point release and a news update then. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And have a great end of the summer, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.